Welcome back to another video with the GT500. The plan for today is to go ahead and take it out to the drag strip. So we got a couple of things we need to go ahead and do and a couple of things I want to change. Figured I'd talk to you here in the nice cool shade before we get there. Going down to Bonne Terre in Missouri. It's about an hour away from me, but it should hopefully be a nice little smaller track with some more runs in versus Worldwide Tech, which is up the road. They've been real sparse on events recently. I don't know what's up, but it is what it is. So we're going to try to hit the test tune and see what happens. But let me go ahead and go over everything and then we'll get into it. So as you guys know, this is my 2007 GT500. We went ahead and got the drag pack on, and I've been doing a little bit of research on everything. Last year we were really struggling without the two-step to launch and get a good 60 foot. I think my best was a 1.68 or so, and we really need to get that. I want to get that down to like the 1.5s. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I think part of the thing that's hurting me, so the prep over at Worldwide Tech is really good. And I think I had my tire pressure too low, so it was really like hooking up and bogging down versus letting it do a controlled spin. So we're gonna try a little bit higher tire pressure this time around, probably in like the, I don't know, we'll try like 17 PSI, probably might go out with 20, and then just see what happens. The car doesn't really have that much grunt down low, so we need to kind of get the RPM up and really help it from bogging down so it can get out of the hole easier. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on the launches. I think I've been trying to slip the clutch a little bit too much, and the RXT does not like to slip, so I might just use that to our advantage. Treat it almost like doing a burnout and just freaking clutch dump it and see what happens. So that's the goal for launching. We'll see how that works out when we get there. And then it's only 1/8 mile tracks. We mostly get a quarter mile time, but I like to be low sevens to the 1/8. A 7.2, 7.0 would be ideal, or even if we can get to the sixes, that'd be awesome. I think my fastest was in Rockingham in cold weather, a 7.0 on the dot. So 7.0 like 103 or 104, somewhere around there. So we'll see how it stacks up. But we fixed our low vacuum bypass. That was the main issue last year with power. It was really laggy down low. It was only getting like 13, 14 PSI. Now we're almost rock solid 17 every time. So we'll see what the boost looks like on the dig. And then lastly, I got some distilled water right here. Got to go ahead and drain out all of our coolant out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. That's why I got the gallon jugs. So we're draining this guy out. Get some water in here so we can run ice. Got plenty of ice. Very hot out today. I think I got I can't remember if it's a 5 or a 7 gallon tank in here. I think it's a 7, pretty big. So we'll go ahead and do that. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing drained, prepped up, double check all our tire pressures, make sure we're good, and then load it up on the trailer. I think we're gonna use the truck to haul it down there. We'll be good to go. So I'll meet up with you guys once we get everything loaded up and ready to go. All right, so we got all the coolant drained out, 6.5 gallons, and I think I was a little underfilled because I fit a full 6 in there, no problem. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do real quick, I unhooked my return tube and I'm gonna go ahead and have it in this bucket. And I made this line at the 4 gallon mark. I wanna go ahead and turn the car on and time how long it takes to fill it to 4 gallons. I know it's not gonna be totally empty. Turn it back off at 4 and then do that and see what our gallon per minute is. I'm honestly really curious what this particular setup is pushing gallons per minute wise and whether we need to upgrade or it should be fine. So I want to do that next and I'll let you guys know what the results are. All right, so just because I was curious, so it looks like we got 4.89 or 4.9 gallons per minute. So a slight step up from the stock system. Not amazing though. So I guess the rule pumps really do fall on their face when they're presented with back pressure or forward pressure. So I'm wondering how much it would help to go to 1-inch lines, mostly because of this this AN fitting right here is kind of annoying because it doesn't maintain a true 3/4 inch. Like that's probably only 1/2 inch restriction right here, 1/2 inch restriction right here. Going to the front of the car, it's 3/4 inch lines coming out until it gets to here, and the coolant crossover pipes are located down there are also but only about 1/2 inch inner diameter. So there's a couple of spots for restrictions, and I'm honestly not sure if I'd even be able to go to a 1-inch line conversion under here because we have this auxiliary idler bracket. So I need to do some research on that. I could probably run the lines up this way, maybe run over the power steering pump and up this way, or run it out that way if we got rid of the auxiliary. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Some stuff I want to look into for the future, but I was curious. So it's about the same as the stock system. It's not terrible. Well, it is kind of terrible for what I'm trying to do for sustaining it, but for an actual ice tank, that flow rates, that's good enough. We'll be all right. So I was curious, and that's what it is. All right, it's just about loaded up. It's a pretty sweet looking rig right here. But you got the car loaded up, everything's strapped down. I had to redo some trailer wiring, so noticed some issues, so a little bit behind schedule, but just about there. We should be good. So all I need to do is find my air gauge, which I stuck perfect right here. And I think that's about it. So I guess we'll see you guys at the drag strip. Grab my octane booster, ice, all that other stuff, and I think we're good to go. All right, well, we are here at Bonte, I don't remember, drag strip. Got the car warmed up. It's feeling pretty good. Gotta check tire pressure real quick. But that's it. So we gotta go and ice down real quick. Looks like I made a bit of a mess earlier. No worries. Go and ice her down and then see what we should do. Should be pretty fun. Hopefully we got a pretty decent run. All right, well, time to get going. See how this goes. Guys, felt pretty decent, I think. Definitely spun off the line a bit, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing with the slick, but it means we left pretty aggressively, which is nice. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. So we'll see what we ran. Find out in a minute, I guess. All right, guys, let's look at the slip real quick. So 169 60 foot, basically a 1.7. Definitely felt it spin pretty hard off the line, which is fine. That's kind of what we were going for. Pretty aggressive launch. My 1-2 shift took forever. Couldn't get it in gear, so I just kept playing with it till I got it. I think that's where my ET went out the window. And then 96 mile an hour and a 7.5. So quite a bit of room to improve on that. Went ahead and checked over the log real quick because I was curious. And it looks like we got pretty good. I mean, it looks like I lifted just a hair after going full throttle because it was spinning. I don't know if that was a good move or not on my part, but what I'm looking at is our spark is weirdly low. Only saw 15 and a quarter, 3/4 on 15 degrees, almost 16 in first gear, 16 degrees at the top of second gear. What our camera we at? 6500, 66, 65, and then we saw 14, 15 degrees straight along, 15.25 in third gear, which I feel like is weirdly low. I'm not quite sure why that is. I might wind up sending this particular log off to BJ just to see what his thoughts are. That's a little interesting to me, so I don't know. We'll see what's up. And then kind of keep going, but we'll go nice down again and we'll just see what happens. Alrighty guys, I don't know why timing was so low. I can't get the stupid GoPro to check my boost to see where that was at. Maybe it was weird, but we'll check it out in a bit and then we'll head back up and do another run. Alright, going up for a round 2. There we go. It's like a 1.860 according to the draggy, so that's not super great. Kind of, man, this track really rolls, so I need to figure out something with that. But other than that, not too bad. Alright, so this next run, turn off data logger, might do the draggy, but honestly I really just want to focus on, try and really focus on my leaving RPM. I feel like I got too much going on to throw my rhythm off, so I just need to like take a minute, go back to the basics, chill, and kind of see what happens. So we'll see how it goes on this next run. My timing is really being limited for some reason. I don't think it's heat, because I'm pretty sure we were doing the same thing in hotter runs last year, but something's up, so I need to go send a log off. Might need new plugs, very possible that's the issue, but it's like limiting me at like maybe 16, but like high 15 degrees of timing, which is like nothing. Usually it's like 17 or 18 degrees of timing, so I need to figure out what's up with that and kind of see what's going on. But I think that's where some of this ET is going, at least mile an hour wise. But overall, I mean, it's not far off from where we were at before. The actual ET itself, though, is kind of sucking, so we'll see how it goes. So go ahead and get in line and see what you do. All right, so we just got back, and 167 60-foot car felt great. I went ahead and checked the data log, and it looks like we launched at 4 grand, and it held it a little bit during the spin, then it hooked up and it bogged it down to, but not really bogged, it dropped it down to about 3,300 RPM, which is not bad. That's still fine. Well within the power end of this car. And then we went up to all the way in, and we were good. I really think a lot of my ET is coming out of the shifts. And then the timing thing is something, I'll send the logs over to BJ, like I said, and we'll see what that's at. But 95 mile an hour is not terrible. I was hoping to see, like, I don't know, it's within 2 mile an hour where I'm usually at, so it's not like down it crazy much. And the last run was like 97, so, you know, it is what it is. ET being 7.5 is still really irritating. I would like to see it low sevens, high sixes. So I know there's something to be gained in the 60 foot. We'll see if we can get it down a little bit more. Might try launching a little bit higher, maybe. I don't know. 1.6 just seems to be where this car is happy, and I'm not really sure how to make it launch any harder than that, but we'll see. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and this will go ahead and get back out and do another run. It's a good night. There's not that many. There's a lot of cars here, but there's not actually that many in line over there. So I'm getting a decent amount of runs in the night. But yeah, there we are. I did check cylinder head temps, fine. That's the easiest way to tell if your car's pulling timing or adding fuel because of heat. 190, so no problem. I checked, you know, just about everything I could think of, and I can't see why it would be not giving me all the timing. So what I did just try is I went ahead and loaded the 93 Plus tune in from last year. This is the one that was in it was the one that we adjusted, or rather he adjusted, to get my idle to figure itself out. So this one has an issue where when I do a cold start, it'll idle weird until I do a cam reset. However, that was the tune I was running most of last year, so I do want to see if that changes anything. And I will not be able to see what my boost is until after I edit this video. I just can't look up at the gauge at the same time. So like I said, we'll see what it is. I'm sure it's probably fine. We do have the 2.8 pulley on here, so that could be affecting things. But we'll see what's up. All right, hopefully you guys can kind of see me, but we're gonna go ahead and do one more run, I think. Probably the last one of the night, just kind of see how it feels. And dice down, try launching a little bit higher if we can. Like I said, I'm kind of rolling forward through the beams a little bit as soon as I let off the brakes, so I gotta be quick about it. The last one, 4 grand, felt nice. Everything's the same tire pressure wise. Do a burnout and see what happens. I do really need to tighten up the shift, so I just watched the video of this last run, and oh my gosh. I can count a full second, I feel like, in between each shift, so that's pretty garbage. Again, my synchros are not happy, but we'll see if we can speed up at least a 2-3 shift. Like, that was pretty bad. So let's go ahead and get out there and do another run. $30, $60, right, good stuff for sure. Definitely focused on the tooth reed shift a lot harder. Whoop, seatbelt's locked up. Launched about 4,500 RPM, and it felt like she ate pretty good, but 1.2 really took a hit to get going. Ran a 7, let's see what that says on the Dragon. 738, so I mean, picked up pretty solid. Definitely the 3/4 shift was a big help, and running it out, what did we do on our, doesn't say what our mile an hour was, but that's pretty solid. Let's go check it out. All right, so we got our time slip. Looks like the Draggy clocked it a bit fast. 174 is what this one says. A 163 60 foot, which is awesome. So I dumped it right at like, it was like 4,700 around there. It dropped it down to about 3,500 as it hooked up in the left. That felt great. 163, that's getting a lot closer to the 1.5, so it's quite nice. My 1.2 shift is killing my ET though. I think I looked at it, my 3.4 or my 2.3 is 0.25 seconds, or about 0.2 seconds to shift. And my other one's almost 0.8 seconds between the 1 and 2. And that should be the fast one. That's just pulling it straight down. So obviously not great there. Other than that though, we got our 2 mile an hour back, and I went ahead and loaded the other tune, and guess what? 18 degrees of timing on the dot. 18 in first, 18 in second, and 17 and 3/4, so 17.75 at the very top as the IT's crossed 120. So ice tank's working like it's supposed to. I think I need to talk to BJ to see if that tune he sent me, he may have been messing around with the base file or not the original one I thought was in there. So good to know. And again, it's not terrible. That tune is just mainly for getting the idle to work out, and then once it's on, it's on. So we'll go ahead and get that straightened out, nothing crazy, and I think that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna get this thing loaded back on the trailer. Guy here, Chris, has been super helpful, Chris Barnett. If he doesn't want his name on here, I'll bleep that out, but he's been astronomically helpful. He drove a good bit to get here like I did. He's the one who took the trackside videos. I just gotta give a huge shout out to him, and I really appreciate it. So that's pretty much that. I'll go ahead and see you guys when we get back, get the rest of the footage. I'll check everything else, but I think that's gonna do it. So that's gonna do it for this track outing, I think, really. All right, so we're back at the house. It is the next day. I finally had a chance to go over all my GoPro footage and everything. I just kind of wanted to see where the boost was at. So it looks like we're at about a solid 15 PSI throughout the track. It's not inconsistent like it was last year where we were having some issues with the boost bypass. 15 PSI, so it's weird because like it's lower than I thought it should be for the pulley I'm on here. But at the end of the day, like there's really nothing else I can do about it. I know I'm not getting belt slip. Bypass is closing like it's supposed to. It's doing everything fine. So it is what it is. I think basically in terms of power, keep the 93 tune, go to the 2.6 pulley maybe if you want to add a little more power there, and bring the boost up a little bit closer to 17 PSI, which is my target, and we'll kind of call it good there. So the main thing that I'm kind of torn on, there's a lot of different things I can do for power, but I don't really think it's a power issue. Like the car has plenty to go pretty quick. The main issue that I'm having is definitely still 1-2 synchros with the trans. So it is what it is. I need to figure out a time to basically pull it out and actually do the work, and I've just been not wanting to do that, other projects and whatnot. So as it comes and goes, we'll get it done. On a side note, with the truck, a little bittersweet. Yesterday was the last time I drove it. Wound up selling it today, and so that's gone now. It's off the channel. A little like I said, bittersweet. But it is what it is, guys. So once again, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. It was really awesome to get back out in the car again. It's been so long. I feel like it took a while. Definitely took a bit to get back in the swing of the things. So as far as a little bit more aggressive launches, I found 17 PSI on the tires was perfect, at least at that track. I could dump it at like 4,500 RPM and it would just let it eat. I could feel it do its like controlled spin thing. Looking at the log, I'm at wide open throttle the whole time, and it just dumps it. It doesn't bog down, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I think I finally figured out the launch at least at that track. It was a little bit less sticky compared to the track around here, but I really like launching it. But again, a lot of my ET is out the window with the shifts, so we got to work on that. That'll be something to do in the future. But until then, appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, feel free to like, share, comment down below, and let me know how you guys are doing in your 500s. So take it easy, guys, and I'll see you in